everybody, welcome back to Simian Jimmy's Treehouse. Not too long ago, we had the Short Film Festival live stream, and today I'm joined by three of the most memorable filmmakers from that contest, starting with the winner, the creator and director of Ronald, Mr. Gnik Sagev.
What's up?
We got the man with lots of cum in jars, Nickolas Cruiser.
No, that's the other guy.
Well, whatever it has to be. And the man who stepped on Legos and made his feet bleed for our entertainment.
That's me.
Mr. Lego Footman.
That's me. I'm the guy.
Yeah, that was all him.
Yeah, I did blackface, but for green people.
Okay. Speaking of green people, though, I did watch the extended version of the jars, and Emplemon showed up in person to your apartment. Is that true?
What are you talking about? That was Rusty Cage.
I did see at the very end something to the contrary about Rusty Cage being...
What are you talking about? Don't spoil that for the audience, you fucker.
Don't spoil the flashing text at the end of my video.
Yeah.
Let's start with Mr. Gnik Sagev, who made the Ronald movie, and you also appeared in it as two different characters. And really, I don't know the best way for us to approach this podcast. It can kind of be loosey-goosey. Generally, as the winner, I want to know, where did this movie come from?
Yeah, I mean, there it is. There's my good friend Danny. He's a star of it. He really pulled it all together. He is such a phenomenal actor. I was gonna actually do the whole thing like myself, which would have been really bad because I'm not that good of an actress. I had to redo my two scenes many times, actually, even though I have like 3 lines in the whole film. But I mean, the whole concept of food film and drama, I thought, well, why not a drama about a fast food mascot?
And was it intentionally like trying to be a parody of Joker, I assume?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I assume people were going to make that connection anyway, so it's just kind of obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you are given the food / drama genre, it is difficult to think of anything other than, I don't know, like everybody here had their own twist on the available ideas, and I think you took it in a direction I was never expecting, which is a sad clown who has lost the ability to make people happy, and he's suffering from it. My mind never would have went there. Nickolas Cruiser, your film has so many layers of depth, especially when you watch the extended version, that I almost feel like it's too good to be considered a YouTube video. It's almost like an actual short film. What is going on with your movie?
I am mentally insane. I'm losing it. And all of those events are completely true. If you watched the sequel, or sorry, not the sequel, the prequel to the jars, did you watch that?
The top 10 suicide methods video?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You watched it?
I have not seen it yet. I know that I'm supposed to. It's a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel, and it's supposed to make it more intense. So if you thought that the jars was good, congratulations, you've ruined top 5 suicide methods for yourself. It's not going to be nearly as good. But yeah, it's all based on a true story. I started collecting these jars of cum. I started having gay men come into my apartment so that they could drop off their cum. Sometimes I'd pay for it. It was quite homosexual, and as a heterosexual, it was at times quite weird to delve into these spaces. But I don't want to talk about me because I have a very quick question. We sort of glossed over. I want to talk to Joker Man. That some of those shots were really well done. Were you filming with Black Magic?
Oh, I think you're talking to me. This was with Sony, actually.
Oh, Sony? Okay.
Yeah.
Sony, what was the camera?
A6100.
Oh, the A6100.
The real key is the lenses, I had I got this cheap like Chinesium anamorphic lens. Mm-hmm. Well, relatively cheap, but that did like all the J.J. Abrams flares and all that everyone really liked.
Wait, so if I take my shitty camera I bought off of eBay for $1,000 and I just put like a fancy lens on it, I can actually look legit too?
Well, it's part of it.
A lot of it, really, yeah.
I mean, there's also sensors too, and there are some downsides to certain sensors. For example, I've noticed on both Sony and Blackmagic, there is a particular artifacting which shows up in your film during the bathroom scene. You know how there's like the bars? I hate it when that happens.
The footage was all screwed up, and we filmed that like in one day, so I was like, oh shoot. I tried to edit it out in post, but I was like, screw it, I'm not gonna.
Just watching the movie, I never would have guessed that there's some sort of error in it. I thought the whole thing was beautiful.
Well, it is very well shot, and I think to the average eye, that can be part of it, So I don't even see it as like a fault. I think it almost becomes stylistic. Just like when you nerd out, and if you're a nerd and you know the details, you see that, and it's like, hey, I've had that problem before. Like my Sonys, when they have that problem, I try and even it out using DaVinci Resolve. I try and like make overlays to fix it, but it's like, just screw it.
Do you guys ever have the rendering error where something in your video is just all green?
Yeah, that happened with one of the characters in my last film. Rusty Cage, just like his skin turned green.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of cameras, I'm dying to know. I'm dying to know what camera was used for this Yoda foot Lego video.
6400.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. 6400.
Tell us more about your movie, because before the podcast, you said you thought you would be either disqualified or banned. But really, I think the biggest reaction I got of the night, like the only time I was laughing, crying, was when your film was playing and the chat was losing their minds. What was that experience like for you, and what inspired this film?
Basically, the criteria was like, pretty limiting. So I figured I just, shoehorn the criteria in at the beginning and then just step on Legos for 4 minutes for shits and giggles.
Well, you did wait 2 whole minutes to drop your tray. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I wanted to submit something better, but like my real life was having some, I was pretty busy and I just wanted to submit something. So I just threw that together.
Well, it was amazing because I was thinking to myself the whole time that nobody had a funnier submission, because even though there were some people who had like good jokes, your entire film was the joke. It was like as if to take every piece of criteria that was needed and make it completely arbitrary. And I fucking loved it, because we've had people who have submitted things in the festival who have done, they've led up to a joke or something like that. But this was like one long-lasting joke. And as soon as it was something where you were doing it for 20 seconds, I realized, oh my God, he's going to do this for the whole fucking thing. And I adored it.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I thought he would stop midway and then just say, we're moving on now.
Oh, I didn't stop any. There's a video mocking my entire existence I didn't turn off. You kidding me? Everybody gets their time in the sun.
When I initially submitted, I actually kind of felt bad, but then you took 4 months to watch it, so I didn't feel bad at the end. I'm just
karmic
good.
Justice. Yeah, well, to be fair, I thought there was only 8 submissions, so I was so happy when there was almost 30.
Oh, and
what happened with that? Was your spam filter on or something?
No, I think most of you guys are retarded. No offense, but I didn't do anything wrong. They just didn't come through.
But one thing, I did make that the Star Wars figure one last year.
Oh, okay. I vaguely recall.
Yeah.
You just doing the Yoda voice again?
Yeah, I've just been using the Texas speech. Just I'll make something better. But yeah, the criteria sometimes it's just like, well, I guess I'll put this in. But
what kind of criteria would you guys like to see if we did another one this year?
That's a good question.
Something that doesn't constrict you in a well, I guess this last one didn't, but put you in a box of what time period it is, items that aren't invented yet and shit.
So I shouldn't do a 1600s period piece contest.
Period.
I would be interested to see how people handle that, but yeah, it's probably impossible.
That's the thing. I'm trying to avoid modern shit in
I see.
things.
Okay. What about you, Nick? Not Nickolas, but just normal Nick. What would you like to tackle in a contest?
Ooh. I like when you do a genre, and specifically, just give us a genre.
Yeah, food's a shitty genre. I think mystery was probably the peak.
And give us a line that's like not horrible to do.
The thing is, I only give out lines that I myself had to do. So it's like, if I had to do this bullshit, let's see what everybody else can do.
Oh,
I can't remember where or when I heard a line that bad.
It's terrible. It is terrible. We had to do it, so I thought it was fair.
I got a really good line.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think you should force us to say a slur.
Nick Gurr is a character name.
There you go.
That's the third Nick tonight. That just reminded me of Mr. Nickolas Cruiser. Filmed part of his extended video outside of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
Why does a slur remind you of a mass shooting?
The name Nick, and it's like, wow, this guy who is imitating Nick Cruz is hanging out outside this high school filming his video. I thought that was pretty great.
Imitating? That's my legal name. Have you seen my ID, sir?
I did see that your parents evidently have the last name Cruiser in the credits of your movie. I was like, damn, what a coincidence. He really is named Cruiser.
Yeah, what a wild little story. It's almost as if my real last name is Cruiser and I've just changed the first one to Nicholas for shits and giggles.
To be honest, I don't know if you're being honest or not.
Yeah, I know.
I have no clue.
You can't trust me. Am I a liar? That's the thing. But I've never lied about anything, ever.
Well, at the end of your video, and I don't know how much of this you actually want to get into legit, but you said that you lost your job because of Nickolas Cruiser videos, and I wanted to hear that story.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to you. But first, I have to grab something. So talk about something else. I will be right back, and I will explain to you how that happened.
Okay. How much did your feet actually bleed after filming your Lego video?
Oh, it mostly had dents, but there were like little pinholes of blood coming out. And my wife was kind of mad. I'm not a foot person, and she just said you never put feet on the internet for free.
I did get $5 on my last live stream to show my feet, so your wife has a good head on her shoulders. I'm shocked that somebody in this community is married. That's kind of the breaking news of the podcast.
That. Yeah.
So there's hope for all of us. If the Lego foot guy can get married, any of us have a chance, right? Yeah. What about you, Nick? Are you married?
No.
Not yet. We're working on it. How much did you spend on the glamour shot of the McDonald's food?
Like 10 minutes. Editing that together was the fun part because I added in like the steam and all that.
Mm-hmm. It did make me hungry. Okay, let's see what
I'm glad to hear that you possibly are going off your low sodium.
Yeah, you almost ruined my diet, but I did not go through with it. Still have not eaten McDonald's all year.
Well, if you end up dying of high blood pressure, you know who's to blame.
I'll blame the Ronald guy on my tombstone. Okay, Nicholas, what's the story, and what'd you have to go grab?
All right, everybody. So it's time for me to get into a little interesting story about how I got fired from my job working for the government. Okay, so already it's a bit of a conflict of interest to be named Nickolas Cruiser and to have a job working for the government. So it wasn't something where I was like a Fed or anything like that. I wish... because I would
You're the
use
guy who has to go through all like the CP that the FBI finds, and you have to like log it all. Shit. Just like in the Sound of Freedom movie.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna become a Fed so I can watch child porn. I'm gonna send it to all of my other Fed friends. Oh yes, childporn.net. That's my website. That's why it's
they filmed this one in the Jewish tunnels. I recognize that stained mattress.
Hey, I came on that. Anyhow.
That's my come on that mattress.
There I am, Gary. There I am. So I was working for the government because I found this genius job. It was genius, okay? It was just being a parking attendant for the city. It's literally as simple as you show up, government workers come in and out of the garage, and if one of them is stupid and doesn't know how to push the button and insert their credit card, then you help them. And since most of the people who are working for the government are young or they're like, below the age of 50, they know how to push a button and put in their credit card. So you have a fake job where you don't do anything. It's not a real job. And I was getting paid pretty low. It was only $12.50 an hour. but it was $12.50 an hour to sit on my ass and do nothing. And so I very quickly realized, hey, wait a minute. Part of my thing is that I'm an animator and I want to animate stuff. They allowed me to bring in my laptop. They allowed me to bring in a computer, anything. They already had a computer there too. So I was literally just like sitting on my ass. I could play games all day. I could draw. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to get paid $12.50 an hour to do what I would be doing anyway, which is working on videos. So over the course of the about 6 months that I was working there, I was animating hand-drawn animation cells for Nickolas Cruiser. Completely hand-drawn, and all of the cells were of a very unique style that I just made up called Zentangle animation. So every single frame looks like this, and they all have unique patterns on every single one. So there's like stipple on some, there's like just different things. And it's
Damn,
like,
so you're like a real artist. You're not just like a shit
That's actually
poster.
amazing.
yeah, so there's dozens of these, and they've got all sorts of stuff on them. And that's just one stack. I've animated in total about 500 of these things.
Jesus.
And so I was just working full stop on just putting more and more detail into all of this shit for this film that I'm working on. It's the Nickolas Cruiser movie. And some of these are actually signed. Some of these are signed by Josie from Fish Tank, Jet Neptune, who else? I think maybe Emplemon has done one. I don't remember. But I've had different YouTubers just draw frames, and there's a bunch of them that like the Nickolas Cruiser logo, but there's like, you know, a whole bunch of them, and they've got all sorts of different stuff on them.
You put more effort into each individual one than I've done in any drawing in my life.
Yeah, because some of these, they they take like an hour,
Yeah.
and since the final sequence is at least 500 frames, and some of them take up to 4 hours, it's going to be at least 500 hours of work to finish this animation. And that's just this one animation, and it's only 40 seconds long. Yeah, and then I've also got a whole bunch of them in color as well. So like, and these ones are meant to look kind of sketchy. They're supposed to look kind of markery, but when it all comes together, it looks fantastic. It's really cool.
So Uncle Sam walked in on you doodling, and he got pissed?
Well, the funny thing is that everybody who worked for the government in my division, the parking division, they were all really cool. They were like, there was this one guy. He was a big guy who would always come in and go, "Brian, you're always drawing them drawings. You're doing a good job drawing them drawings. You don't got to do no work, man. We love you, Brian. Man, did you know that I like grapes? I love grapes. You should bring in grapes for me sometime, Brian. I love you so much, Brian. Get back to drawing, Brian." But the thing was that he loved me so much, he never told me that there was this one woman who was working for the mayor who would always complain about me. So a complaint would come in, and instead of telling me, "Hey, Brian, that woman who parks in reserve, just make it look like you're doing something whenever she's around, you know? That's what you got to do, Brian." No, like, that's what he should have been telling me.
Mm-hmm.
I think a couple of times he sort of like subtly hinted at it, but he was like, "Nah, you good, man. You always good." So I get a random notice out of nowhere as I'm coming into work thinking, oh yeah, great. Another day where I'm going to work on animations and get paid by the government to make Nickolas Cruiser. And he comes in and he says, "Brian, I got some really bad news. I know I told you last week I was hoping you'd work here forever. I know that, like, I know we love you, man, but some dumb bitch who works for the mayor, not unlike you, put in like 5 reports. 5 reports! 5 reports. And the mayor really likes her, so sure, her word is word. We gotta get rid of you." So, and the funny thing is too, he seemed really depressed about it. And then I think I was on my way out, and I remembered he owed me money, and he just walked away. So yeah, my boss owed me
you weren't
money.
you're not fired at all. He just didn't want to pay you back.
Maybe.
Well, when I hear that you got fired for Nickolas Cruiser videos, I didn't know it was for making them. I thought that they watched them and said, "We can't have this maniac at our company."
Well, no, funnily enough, I actually showed the animation to my boss, and he was like, "Brian, you're so talented. It's wonderful. You so wonderful." And they cited the reasons why I was fired. I've got it on a chart over here. But the funny thing is that the chart was made by the woman who worked for the mayor. So these were her reasons, but they're things that I never got complaints for.
This is something you have hanging up in your room?
Yeah, I just got it sitting right here.
Okay.
It's you have been observed sleeping while on duty. You were actually you were actually laid out on the bench in the parking garage.
Is that true?
Yes, one time.
Okay.
It was one time, but to be completely fair, fucking nothing was happening, and I was out of frames to do for the day. I had already ran out of paper, so I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna take a nap." It was towards the end, and of course, she's like the last car in the garage, so she saw it. Fucking bitch. You have had your girlfriend with you during working hours in the garage. Now, as a matter of fact, she was not my girlfriend. And my boss had met her, said, "Oh, Brian, I love how you always bring in the cute little ladies. When you gonna marry one of them? You should bring them in more often. We should have a party. They should bring the grapes."
Is he like the hedonism bot from Futurama? He just wants you to feed him grapes all day?
He would talk about grapes quite a bit. He would always talk about how whenever we got work parties, I always bring the grapes if no one else brings the grapes. Because I ain't eating no potato chip.
Can I ask the race of this gentleman?
He was of the African American variety. You racist. Just because I'm doing a black accent doesn't mean it's a black guy, you racist. Well,
there's other fruits he could have liked other than grapes.
I didn't even think about it like that. He's literally a walking stereotype. That's awful. No, he's a great guy. I love that guy. Yeah,
he's a grape guy.
Yeah, he's a black guy who loves grapes. Can't hate. But yeah, you've had your girlfriend with you during working hours. My boss literally never told me that was against the rules. It's a public garage. Who cares?
Now, is this the girl Nicole from the film?
Oh, no. She killed herself.
Oh, spoiler alert. I got to go watch that video.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if it wasn't sort of obvious, I think at least by watching the jars, it becomes sort of obvious. You know what? Great. I just spoiled it for the audience. And it doesn't hit as hard. See, the top 5 suicide methods video, I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler here. It's a very video-like video, so it sort of fools you into thinking that you're just watching a YouTube video with some complex GFX edits, but it's sort of made to fuck with you. It's sort of made so that when you get to the end and the plot twist happens, it's trying to make you cry. And quite a few people have told me that it has worked successfully because they're going in expecting one thing, and then the ending doesn't even say immediately that she died. It's just Nick picking up the phone, having a phone call, and a song comes on, and you can just see him start to break down, and he's crying, he's bawling. And they were all authentic tears because at this time, my ex-girlfriend had actually committed suicide, and one of the last things that she said was that she wanted to be with me, and that was part of the reason.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Literally, so it's based on a true story, and I'm fucked up over it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, man. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I'm smiling about it, but it's a completely real thing. And one of the last things she sent me was this keychain of a globe.
Now you're selling them.
Yeah, now I'm selling them.
Yeah. Gnik Sagev, what tragedy in your life inspired the Ronald movie?
Gee.
Come on, fresh shirt man. Come on, tell us about your dead mom. I hope to God that your mom didn't actually die. That'd be fucked up.
Yeah, she will one day.
It's true. We all will.
Yeah, not me.
I'll kill your mom if you need a tragedy. It makes for good art, I promise.
The story was the result of, kind of drinking a little too much the week before we filmed it. And I was well.
What were you drinking?
Vodka. Just
vodka?
Mixing stuff up.
I've never had alcohol. I wouldn't know.
You have a beautiful shot of Ronald outside of a McDonald's. Did you guys consider filming inside of one, guerrilla style?
No. We actually, if you look closely, in the background, there's a kid in the window waving out at us. Found that funny. We were only out there in the parking lot for 5 minutes. We just got out of the car, started filming, and went because we didn't want to get kicked out or whatever.
Did your buddy enjoy walking around town in clown makeup?
Yes, it was a wonderful experience.
Did you have to put the makeup on him?
His girlfriend actually was able to do that. She's actually a really talented with makeup and stuff. So luckily we had that ability to do that.
Came out good.
Lego Footman, do you have any deep backstory that would explain the significance of your film?
Not really. I'm a film student graduate, and I make legit shit, but I have a lot of alternate accounts where I just post cringe and curse shit that just comes in my head, and I'm just like, well, I got to use it for something, but it won't work for any of my actually good films, so just film dumb shit.
And this is the worst thing since sliced Hitler.
Yeah.
Every single moment you're packing in jokes. I appreciate it.
I use that in the action figure video too from last contest.
Yeah, you probably did. That does sound familiar. Nickolas Cruiser, we didn't get the rest of your list on reasons why you were fired. Let's get the second half.
Oh yeah, so let's see. I'll just go over them quickly. You do not assist customers when they are in need of help. You ignore vehicles when they are stopped at the entrances or exits. Yeah, this one is made up. That's not real. I always helped people if they needed help, and it was pretty obvious who was incompetent and who wasn't. You could tell by how many wrinkles they had on their face. Let's see. We have received numerous complaints relative to customers not being assisted and having to use the call button, even though you are standing right there. It's that one fucking bitch woman. It's that one bitch woman who she wanted me to hand take her little key card and put it up so she would immediately hit the call button. She was the one complaining that entire time. It's like, oh, I'm so privileged. I work for the mayor. I need to have my little valet who just takes my card, scans it. Bitch, you can lean out of your car. I'll kill you. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, that's probably why they really fired me, was all the threats I made towards her. No, I'd never do that. Let's see. On too many occasions, the customers had to use the call button on the Tiba kiosk. Funnily enough, towards the end, I left notes there in case I was away to explain to people how to put in their card, because you're supposed to put the card in face up, but the graphic designer printed it so that it would be upside down. So I used one of my drawings to fix it so people knew how to put their card in. And it would, whenever I was away, because I'd have to sweep part of the lot sometimes every once in a while, people would put their card in upside down and it wouldn't scan, and they'd wonder why. Because I wasn't allowed to have that graphic up there that taught people what to do right. My boss's boss was like, no, this is a crude drawing. But it told people what they were supposed to do. It's like,
it could save you guys $12.50 an hour. Just leave this fucking sign up and people can do my whole job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no,
trying to save the money.
Maybe I should have been standing there. Maybe I should have taken every single credit card and gone, you're good. You're good. But then, what's the point of having an automated garage then? I guess what's the point of having me there? It's really just for the old people. Excellent customer service and professionalism are two of the most important factors of your job, and you fail in those areas.
Are you going to list all these things on your resume on your job hunt?
Actually, here's the funny thing. I just got a job, and it's for a salary position, and it's more money than I've ever made before, because I told them, oh yeah, I was almost manager at a Wendy's. In this failing business, they need staff so bad that they're literally hiring anybody that they can get. And I think the average for the position that I got is supposed to be $60K. Low end is $47K, and they've given me the job already.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And it's because nobody else is applying, because their website, the submission fails. I went in physically to apply, and that's the only reason they got to my submission. So I was the only one who was applying, so they had to give me the job.
Well, I want to throw this out there for everybody. If you're ever in need of a reference on your resume, I'm willing to lie. I'll say you were my assistant manager at Simian Jimmy Studios. I don't give a fuck. Hit me up. Put my phone number down. Who cares? Fuck them.
Yeah, me too. I'll do that for anybody.
Hell yeah.
You can say that the assistant manager of some prestigious company who's doing print client services, Nickolas Cruiser, is recommending you. Mm-hmm. And, I make enough money that I could fudge something up. I could make a fake website for you,
Yeah, you're friends with Emplemon now. How are you not editing his videos for him? Like, he could have twice as much. You are? Okay. That should be your full-time job. He's making the big money.
Yeah, he's not everything is being edited by me, but I just did some edits on the last video he did with Rusty. They did like some trailer thing. I edited the whole trailer. I did some CG for him. I'm doing CG for his next video, and it requires like simulation physics, explosions.
CG in an Emplemon video?
Yes. In fact, there's already CGI in 2 or 3 of his videos. There's this in 3 of his last videos. I did the 3D Rusty Cage. I did the stairway to Perfectville at the end, which was CGI, and then the ending downward spiral in the Pandora's Box video that was done by me. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
And how did you convince him to make his appearance in the jars?
Well, he lives pretty close to me. He's like an hour away, so like we hang out. He comes up here every once in a while. Like we go see movies. So I just told him, hey, I'm working on this Nickolas Cruiser video, and he's seen some of the stuff. He knows it's pretty decent. And I told him about the jars. I told him about this cameo. I gave him the screenplay. He gave it a look-see over, and he said, yeah, sure, all right. So he comes over with his girlfriend, vegan-ass Valerie, and she did some work as well. She did some lighting stuff for us. Yeah, I just got him in here, and I thought, it'd make a great accent to show the downward spiral colors. We get a nice blue light on him so that when the hue shift happens, it shows a good green and purple. And so, yeah, and it turned out great. I think the only thing he was upset about was we put blood makeup on him, and he's very
vegan.
He's very he didn't like that we had to kill animals in order to get the blood, and then we put it on his face.
Yeah, do vegans swallow cum? Because that's a living thing. I'll have to ask Emp if he swallows cum.
Yeah, I'll have to send him a message. I'll just ask him really quickly, hey, do you want some of my cum? I haven't emptied out all of the jars yet.
Yeah, let him know you're talking to me. He'll appreciate that we're talking about him drinking cum.
The one thing about veganism that from my understanding, is it's also salvaging is fine.
Oh, okay.
So, technically, leather can be argued to be vegan because it lasts forever.
And cum is just recycling, like Chris Chan style, so...
It's not going anywhere, so,
who's the real victim? I would like to open it up to you guys. I mean, I don't know how much we can possibly talk about these short films, but if you guys had any questions even for each other about your movies, I think now would be a good time.
I asked about the tech question, but did you, use marker, Yoda Man, on your feet? Or what did you use to paint your feet green?
So if you go to Spirit Halloween, there's just green witch makeup or whatever. I just only had enough for my legs. Otherwise, I might have just had my whole body covered for the video, but I didn't have enough. So. And
your package of candy is a little bit crinkly, but it is what it is.
I'm sorry, that was so rude. I was crinkling right when you were talking. I'm sorry.
It's
So it's like Spirit Halloween paint. Okay.
Yeah. Not my best work. I do a lot of art direction for real films, so
that's cool.
That's just my crude. I'm gonna slap some makeup on very poorly.
You gonna tell us, or are you gonna keep your identity separate because you can't let us know your secret identity?
Separate, but I did email.
It might be smart.
Something that was my own. I just don't want it linked, but I'm pretty sure people will figure it out. So it's not that hard.
You should not
giving Monkeys fans too much credit.
You should be proud that you made that movie.
I sure am. I did send it to my real friends, stuff like that. But
did they finish it?
No, they watched the other one, the short 22-second one long. I threw it in this Discord. You can play it in this video if you want, even.
I was going to play clips from all your movies throughout this podcast.
Okay, but I mean the one I threw on this Discord channel. It's a 22-second thing that I filmed to since I already had the green paint on.
Yeah, you got to use every part of the buffalo when you paint your legs green.
Yeah, sorry I keep stuttering. I got a C in public speaking.
Oh, you are fine. Trust me. We got fucking crinkly-ass candy over here, okay? Stuttering's no big deal. What about you, Nick? Do you have any, thoughts or anything you want to share about your movie? I think we can wrap this up in about 5 minutes.
Well, actually, I got a story on
the
way out, but Nick first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of like Ronald, I guess, a little bit. Now, an idea I had that got cut was to show the other characters in the film with the clown, like hair and the nose. Kind of symbolizing that, hey, they're all clowns too, the Mormon at the door, and the news reporter and the therapist. It's just kind of a clown world out there.
Yeah, I mean, I felt a bit of a connection to the film, a story of a man who once entertained millions of children or whatever the hell, and then now he's at a point in his life where he can't really do that anymore. And not as big of an audience. All he wants to do is make people happy, and it seems like it's been ripped away from him by just, forces out of his control. And at the end, when he's standing up on that balcony up on the roof, and we don't know if he's going to jump, it's pretty soul-crushing. We don't know his future. Will the pain end with the jump, or will he continue to suffer?
Was the facial hair with the makeup a reference to the 60s Batman?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I told him just look kind of disheveled on the day we filmed, and he showed up, and I mean, he kicked ass. It was amazing.
Yeah, the beard was perfect.
That reminds
if you
me.
watch the 60s Batman, that motherfucker didn't shave his mustache for the Joker role.
I bet it's
You can
Kino
see
as
that
fuck.
in the makeup.
Well, that actually reminds me of the production of the Jars. I didn't even mention this, but you'll notice that in the full version of the Jars, Nick has like a full mustache, and I had just like ugly shit on my face that I let it scuff out. I didn't pluck my eyebrows.
We call
like
it
that.
Emplemon facial hair.
Yeah, there you go. But I wanted to look as unclean and gross as possible, and to juxtapose it, if you look at Zach, he's completely shaved, his face is clean, and eyebrows plucked and everything like that. I had to perfectly time that. I waited until it grew all the way out, filmed my shots, and there's even a few shots where both of them are in shot at the same time. So I had my camera and I positioned it perfectly so that after I shaved, after I showered, after I was clean, I would do the other take as the clean version of myself in the same spot so that they would both be there. By which I mean, I just have another guy who plays Zach, my brother.
Yeah, right.
I gotta, damn it, I broke the fourth wall.
Well, you did a lot of incredible camera trickery, and by trickery, I mean insanity. You filmed yourself gooning out to porn and playing Fortnite for a full 24 hours for one continuous shot. Did anybody else here put in as much time as he did into this one fucking shot?
Can't say so.
I dedicated 4 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you probably went through the most pain, but what did you...
Yeah, the most suffering.
That doesn't compare, yeah.
Nickolas Cruiser, what did you do in that time? Did you literally take a nap on your gamer chair at one point?
Yeah, I did.
You fucking just laid down and slept.
I think it started at 6 a.m. one day. I got into my chair, and I didn't want to move, so I prepared bottles. There's all of those Mountain Dew cans that you can see from one end, and they slowly make it to the other as I finish them. I finished 2 bags of Doritos, a container of Oreos, and I didn't want to eat all of this shit. I wanted to eat actual healthy food, but I wanted this to look as gross as possible. I put there's a creeper with a fleshlight coming out of it that I put on the floor, and I got trash that I'd sort of collected over the course of that week.
Oh, your room doesn't usually look like that.
No. My floor is clean except for the papers that I've got on it right now that I brought into the room. No, that whole thing is a bit.
Oh, okay. I'm
actually a bit of a clean freak most of the time, though I will say right now I even feel like I shouldn't be cleaning. But yeah, I ravaged the place. And I hung stuff up on the walls. There's a bunch of missings. And I just left the clock there. At the beginning, I think there's some phrase that says something like, do something. And eventually this text that says do something, it falls to suggest that it's too late. But yeah, I was pissing in bottles. I was sitting
Like,
playing
actually?
CSGO. Yeah, I was actually pissing in bottles.
Holy
and I was
crap.
playing CSGO. There were multiple frames that I had to cut out because it just showed me like pissing for a second.
And you had to put like the Pornhub logo over. I assume
Yeah.
all the porn you were watching.
Right, but the thing was that I wanted that to show for long enough in the sequence that it would be like you'd be watching it for a whole 3 seconds. So for an arduous 1 hour and a half, I just took a little squash that I'd hidden away, and I just continued to rub a squash for a fucking hour and a half to make it look like I was jerking off.
Non-stop.
Yeah, and it was like, after a certain point, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna grab up here for about, 6 seconds. Okay, grab down here for 6 seconds. It'll show the movement, whatever. And I just I put it back and forth, and my arm was fucking exhausted. And I just threw up some generic porn on the screen, so it'd be like, yeah, it's gonna look like I'm jerking off to porn. But the problem was that I had to set the speed to lower, because I realized, wait a minute, this porn is 24 minutes long, and I want people to see that this thing was cycled through. So I went to the timeline, and I set it so that it would play at a quarter speed, because then I was like, yeah, okay, that way
You were
people
watching slow motion porn.
Yeah, and I'm literally over here trying to okay, if I keep my head parallel to where the camera is, then I won't look as bored as I am, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm just over here, yep. And I'm not saying this because I'm against jerking off on camera. I would, of course, jerk off on camera if it made my art better. But the problem is I needed this sequence to last an extended amount of time, longer than I would jerk off to porn for. I wasn't going to goon it for that long. I'd be having blue balls while I'm already sitting in a chair for 24 straight goddamn hours. And that's why I think I took a nap after a certain point, because I was just like, fuck, this is awful. I want to stretch. I want to do something, anything, but I need to make it look like I do this all the time.
Did you at least listen to a podcast while gooning it for that hour and a half?
I just put on some music. So I had I just had a playlist of shit on. But the problem was that after I started the playlist, I was like, fuck, I want to listen to something else now. I've got this different song in my head. I put on this gay Nickolas Cruiser songs I'm going to use dubstep playlist, and in the middle I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to listen to dubstep, but the porn's already on screen, the squash is already in my crotch. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Sort of lean over? No, that's the frame that's going to show up, is me switching Spotify. So it's like, fuck, all right, I guess I'm listening to dubstep. It's a little bit loud. Is my neighbor going to hate this? Well, fuck him. I can't do anything about it. So fuck my neighbor. Fuck me. I'm listening to dubstep. I keep moving my fucking hands. It's getting exhausting. It's I want to kill myself.
Yeah, I don't know if it was even necessary, and the fact that you did all that effort is so, I respect it a lot, and it blows me away. It reminds me of old school YouTube, where it's not just, oh, I'm Philip DeFranco, need to read these news stories for 10 minutes and then leave. No, this is a man who's dedicated to fucking art, and he's gonna put himself through hell for a 20-second sequence in a 16-minute short film. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, the content isn't for me, but the method of making it, I respect that a lot.
Big time.
The content's
Dedication.
definitely not for everybody. It's niche, the kind of stuff that I make. It's for weirdos and creeps.
Well, to be fair, you have to have a high IQ to understand Nickolas Cruiser, and I just don't
No.
think a lot of people out there do.
You know what's funny about that? When I did that sequence originally, I was wearing a Rick and Morty shirt because that's the shirt I wanted to wear for the sequence. So I was literally in a Rick and Morty shirt. And you didn't even see, because there's accompanying shots that I had for the sequence that I was originally going to use that got cut. But I put fake stains all over the shirt. Or I had one of my friends who was a makeup artist person help me stain this thing, so there were gross mustard stains all over it. And those shots, I don't know if I'm going to be able to recycle them for any other content, but they looked great because I had this other shot. It wasn't a time lapse, but it was over my computer where I'm just fucking gooning it. And we had to trash the floor in the bathroom as well to get it to match with the other shot. But the final sequence ended up only being about 2 minutes, so a lot of that had to go. But I also gained weight as well. So that shot when I'm over the scale,
Oh, that can't be your real weight. That was like 225 pounds.
It's not my real weight,
Yeah.
but I did gain, I think, about 15 pounds, I want to say, because I was...
What?
At the time. Yeah. I was...
In what a period of time?
I was preparing for this video. I wasn't sure I was going to do the jars specifically, but I knew that whatever it was, when this festival next happened, I wanted to be fatter. So I gained, I want to say...
So you were preparing before he announced the festival.
Yeah, and I wasn't even sure if he was going to announce it, because I heard that there was a possibility that there was going to be a summer festival. So as early as April, I was like, fuck it, I'm putting on 15 pounds. And I don't fucking care if I get less bitches. I don't care about the repercussions of it. I know that I've got a whole bunch of ideas for fat Nickolas Cruiser looking worse. I wanted them to have a little bit more of a double chin. I've already lost, I think, pretty much all of it. I'm down to 181 when I was up at 195. I was eating worse. I felt like shit. I was staying up later. It was awful. And I even grew out my nails too. If you see those shots where I'm like doing the thing with the jar, I grew out my nails, and then I just took like dirt shit and I got it caught in there so that it would just look filthy and gross. I know that, you could have like gotten makeup fake nails or something like that. But no, those are made for zombies. They look far too it's unrealistic. So over the course of from August to September, right when we filmed, because we filmed all of this in September, I had a friend. I haven't even gotten to my friend who got into this whole thing. But when we filmed all of this in September, I'd been preparing all the way up until that point. I'd been getting myself looking more gross. And I got to give a shout out to Funhole Entertainment, aka my other friend, Rick Harvey, who he paid for a whole bunch of stuff to make this better. He flew one of his friends from Kansas, the guy who plays Mr. Sticky Hands. So he's not even from around here. He got flown in, like $1,000 flight round trip. He and his girlfriend. And then he flew himself as well, because Rick is from Pennsylvania. So he's like buying flights. He's like, Brian, I want to be a Nickolas Cruiser. Sorry, Nick, I want to be a Nickolas Cruiser. You know my name's Brian Cruiser now. You're going to dox me. Censor that.
I mean, you said it the whole time that your coworker was talking to you. He was saying Brian, so...
Fuck. Oh, well.
I can cut it out if you want. I'm not going to dox anybody.
No. Don't go in and edit it. I think in some of my videos, I literally credit myself as B-Boy Brian anyway.
Okay.
But I was kind of hoping to do this in character or whatever. But, so Rick, he flies this guy and his girlfriend out because the guy who plays Mr. Sticky Hands, he convinced his mom, like, I'm going to be at my girlfriend's house for, like, the next few days. And he needed to have his girlfriend there so that if she called, she would be there. It was like so sketchy and ridiculous, but we needed Mr. Sticky Hands there.
So was homeboy Rick, who funded the whole thing, was he extra pissed that I took so long to do the contest?
He mentioned it a few times, and he was like, why the fuck is he taking so long? And I was just kind of like...
The answer is that I'm a piece of shit. You can just tell him that.
I didn't mind. I didn't care. I was like, hey, we had fun making it, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the message you should all take away, okay? You got to make a piece of art, so that's valuable.
It became kind of an in-joke with me and my friends. When's Simian and Jimmy going to upload the films or whatever? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'll leave a comment. Maybe he'll see it.
Yeah.
I'll leave a chat.
Bullying does work. Everybody, if they would have bullied me twice as hard, I would have done it sooner. Just keep bullying.
I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah.
I'm just glad there was a festival, because if I'm being completely honest, this is one of my favorite things to do. And it's because all of my projects are these overproduced, complicated machinations that they honestly take too long. 90%, maybe 95% of all stuff that I've filmed for Nickolas Cruiser is unreleased. I have 400 hours of footage of just me doing bits. I did a whole bit because I was in Minneapolis during the George Floyd riots, and I have footage of people like committing crimes and doing all sorts of crazy shit. Unfortunately, I cannot release that until the statute of limitations is done, so that'll come out 2026.
Says who?
Says me. I literally witnessed people committing crimes.
Did you have a gun with you? Did you have a weapon with you to use for self-defense?
For legal reasons, I cannot say, and also for legal reasons.
Oh, that's why you can't release the footage.
Yeah, actually, funny thing is, I was consulting my lawyer, because I have a lawyer for some of this, because it's gotten that bad.
What?
Yes, it has. The footage that I have, Yeah, the footage that I have from the Nickolas Cruiser Black Lives Matter episode is so intense that my lawyer told me, wait until the statute of limitations is done, and also do not possess the footage. And I was like, what do you mean, don't possess the footage? He said, don't have the footage on hand. So I was like, okay, so how does this work? And he says, okay, as your lawyer, Nick, honestly, I would suggest that you delete this footage right now. But if you really want to have it, find some sketchy guy online that you don't know on Discord or something like that. Send him the footage and just tell him to contact you in a few years and then get it back to you. And it's not because I committed any crimes, or if I did, obviously I can't tell you. Maybe I committed some vandalism. No, there are people who it's really messy. It's really fucking messy. Honestly, I'm kind of scared, but I don't have the footage. And I also have no way to contact this guy. I don't even know if he's going to get back to me. But there's a guy out there who has fucking... Yeah, it's intense.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very confused right now.
Okay,
you seem to be treating this like it's some sort of horrible material. No,
it's
you found aliens or something.
Okay, all right. I feel like since there's
because I thought they said thanks to George Floyd, black people could do anything they wanted in the riots. What footage could you have? They were given permission to burn down 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't say that that's exactly the kind of stuff that I had on footage, but let's just say theoretically I had footage of somebody burning down a 7-Eleven or an AutoZone or something like that. Let's just say theoretically that I did have that footage.
Okay.
Well, they're not really prosecuting anybody.
No, they don't fucking care.
Yeah, they don't fucking care. But if somebody is an asshole and doesn't like me, then they could come after me for it and try and find a way to tie me to people that we filmed. Because we saw people looting liquor stores. We saw people destroying the Target that I worked at. Because I worked at the Lake Street Target, which was George Floyd's Target at this time.
George Floyd's Target.
Yeah. In fact, you're not going to believe this. Not only have I met George Floyd before, but also, yeah, guess what? This motherfucker came in with some girl, could have been his girlfriend, literally counterfeit 100. Counterfeit 100, brought in, yeah. This was, I didn't call the police or anything like that, but somebody came in, and later my coworker told me, hey, you know that guy who came in 4 months ago with a counterfeit $100 bill that was trying to make that really sketchy return and was trying to buy those clothes? Yeah, dude, that was George Floyd. My coworker swears on his life it was George Floyd, and I believe him. Because
recognized him from the gay porno.
But after seeing his photo and hearing this whole thing, I was like, God damn, yeah, that makes sense. Because we had this counterfeit 100. I gave it back to the person, and then they walked away. This girl was the one who handed it to me, and she was with a guy. And my coworker swears on his life, or former coworker, I should say, swears on his life that this woman was there with George Floyd. And honestly, I believe him. Anyhow, so this encouraged me because since my Target had to be closed down as a result of these riots, all of this stuff going on, it encouraged me after the store had opened again several months later to start a gag union.
Okay.
I'm going to show you guys something here. Check this shit out. I'm switching out of the cum shirt that I wore for you guys.
Oh boy.
So that I can show you something else.
Damn, his mic quality's as good when he's in the other room. Okay, we got shirtless Nickolas Cruiser.
Ooh.
Not too shabby.
Everybody, this is the story of how your boy Nickolas Cruiser got fired from Target.
Okay.
I got fired from
Target. That's an Antifa shirt?
Yeah, it's the Target logo combined with the Antifa logo. See, I started this gag union at the Lake Street Target, and Target corporate, they were fucking pissed off. If I show the analytics, I got them somewhere that show how the website was doing in terms of what it was getting visits, who was visiting it and where. I think the day after I wore it, it got 125 visits from exclusively the Target corporate building. And well, there's a website. I should clarify. Oh fuck.
Is it still up?
Yeah, the website's still up. Here, check it out. It's on my back. It's target.based.
.lgbt/Antifa. Okay.
Yeah, target.base.lgbt/Antifa. Check it out. We're sponsored by Grindr, Dasani, Pornhub, Red Lobster, OnlyFans, Cartoon Network, Burger King, 23andMe, Star Wars, Twitter, Team Pretty Feet, Pop-Tarts, and Lego.
Have you been fired from every job you've ever had?
I have had controversies at multiple jobs. I've been fired from quite a few jobs. I'd say this is the only one.
I have no idea why. Yeah,
the one where I was working for the government is the only one that's bogus. The other ones are completely fair.
Yeah,
no, like I will wholeheartedly. No, seriously, I will wholeheartedly admit that every other job that I was fired from, I completely deserved it, 100%. But this one, I was encouraged by my boss not to do any work. He was like, hey, you got great drawings, man. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. This is a do-nothing job. So, like, if I got fired because I did exactly what my boss told me to do, even though I was doing nothing, like, I don't know, man. But,
well, I feel like this could go on all night. And out of respect for everybody, I think we could call this towards the end of it. You know, Nickolas Cruiser, I think we might have to have a part 2 sometime because it sounds like you have a lifetime of stories to share. But I want to go around the horn and let everybody have one last chance to say whatever they want to say and plug their shit. And I'll have, of course, links to everybody down in the description. But let's start with our big winner, Mr. Nick.
Yeah, Nickolas Cruiser, you're doing awesome. I'm not really versed in podcasting. I'm not great in front of the camera, like I said. So, I guess shout out again to my main lead actor, Danny. He did amazing. Couldn't have done it without him. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to Lego Foot Guy. I know you said you have a bunch of weird channels you could plug.
Yeah, I guess the other channel that has the action figure stuff was right now it's called The Burp That Farted, but I change the name sometimes. So the quickest way to find that channel is, and I'm not even joking, YouTube, type in Revenge of the Space Penis, and the first result is tied to that channel, and I'm not even joking.
And if you send me a link on Discord here, I can post it.
Oh, okay, cool. And then let's see. Oh, can you bring back Jumpy, by the way?
Jumpy? What do you want to see him do?
Just see him in general. I know you gave him didn't he have like an inflatable body, and that was your reason that he's not around? Yeah,
it's a very specific type of sex doll that keeps getting popped by my cats.
Okay, well, give him a stuffed animal body or a 12-foot tall yard skeleton or something.
Yeah, if you guys are okay with a body shape change, I still have the mask and the clothes.
Make him all jacked, you know?
Sure, yeah. Or maybe I'll just make Biggs wear it.
Yeah,
recast him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll consider. Maybe we'll see Jumpy in 2024, just because...
And did you guys do the wheel yet? Like for the next food thing?
No, not yet. We're still trying to come up with all the slots on it.
I got 2 if you... are you doing just food or other stuff now?
Any torturous activity.
Okay, literally paint your feet green and step on Legos for 4 minutes.
I'm legit going to put that on there because that's a great idea.
And then the food one is, my suggestion is a durian. It's a fruit that smells like rotten meat. It's from Asia. It's a delicacy to some people and then really bad it's foul to other people. It's probably going to be a hit and miss type of fruit, but it's pretty repulsive to, normies.
Should we mix it up and put Vegemite on the durian? Mix it up.
Maybe, yeah, no, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep both of those in mind. Remind me if I forget, but that Lego foot idea is fucking brilliant.
Perfect.
Nickolas Cruiser, what you got going on?
Just my YouTube channel, Nickolas Cruiser. Come back in, 2 years to see whether or not I get the footage back from that one guy, which may or may not show the first people who started to destroy the police station, but that's probably not what it is. In Minecraft with due process, that's not what the footage is. It's definitely not what the footage is. I definitely do not have footage of people attacking that police station. I think it's the 3rd or 5th precinct. It's definitely not that footage, and it's all about whether or not a guy sends me the footage back, who I specifically told him, hey, send this to me in 6 years.
Well, if you legitimately don't have it, I'll believe you, but I would like to see it if somebody could anonymously send it to me. I'm not going to post it anywhere. I'd like to check it out.
I literally don't know how to contact the guy. Like, I literally set it up that secure. I deleted my copies. I sent them to this guy, and there's just like, I kept all of the footage that's like completely legally actionable, or like I blurred faces in some stuff and then like deleted the originals because I don't want to get anybody in trouble with the footage that I have. But there's certain stuff where it's like, my lawyer was like, don't take a risk on it. So actually, I took a giant risk on it. I'm going to take a risk to see whether or not this guy is holding on to this footage for me. And if he sends it to me after the
statute of limitations?
Statute of limitations. That's the term I was looking for. But before I go, there was actually something that from the beginning I wanted to say. It's just a short story because I was almost late to the podcast today. And I want to tell you all why. You see, so I have this thing that I've been doing for the past year. There's a local Staples around here. And the Staples, have you ever been to a Staples and have you seen the giant Shaq cutouts that they have?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, Shaq is something like 8 feet tall or something like that. So they have this Shaq cutout at almost every Staples where he's just like holding on to a printer.
Okay.
And it's just like, it's great. It's this 8 foot tall thing. And every single time I've been in, I've always asked, hey, are you guys ever going to sell this thing or give it away? And the guy that I was talking to there was always like, well, we have to wait on a, Staples corporate, blah, blah, blah. We have to wait on them, basically, to give us the okay, thumbs up, thumbs down. And so I have basically, for every week that I needed to get stuff, I would just casually ask. And eventually, this guy who worked at the Staples, I know the guy, his name is Eric. He eventually just said, hey, man, I'm going to be honest with you. You keep coming in and asking about this the Shaq cutout. You've consistently been asking, for a few weeks now. When it happens, it's going to be like gone the day. Like, we are straight up just going to have it one day. And then when corporate says, okay, that's no longer part of our promotional campaign, it's just going to be thrown away same day. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do. You can either find one online and order it and pay for it, or you can come in to Staples every single day until eventually the day comes, and we will not throw it out until the end of the day, and you can come in and you can swipe it up. So I've learned all of the people who work at the Staples, because for the past year, I have come into Staples every single day. I've learned their names. There's Erica, there's Andy, there's Matthew. I've learned them. They know me. They know me as the Shaq guy. They had this new guy that they were training that they said, oh yeah, you're going to meet the Shaq guy eventually. And I met the new guy and he was like, hold on, you're the Shaq guy? I expected it was going to be like a tall black guy that looked kind of like Shaq. I was like, no, I'm the Shaq guy because I keep asking about the full-size Shaq. So it's kind of ironic that it's this white guy who's like fucking, average height. But I've been consistently asking, coming in every single day. And I needed an excuse to come in. So I started to realize, all right, what can I get? What do they sell at Staples that I have an excuse to get every single day? At first it was just water, but then I realized that they sell instant ramen at fucking Staples. Oh yeah, I really want to go to Staples to get my instant ramen.
Yeah, how much are they selling it for? Because Walmart, it's like 29 cents.
Yeah, well, it's more expensive. It's like $2.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. It's a horrible deal.
At what point is it cheaper just to buy your own Shaq?
I mean, at a certain point, yes. But the other thing is,
it's just a principle at this point. You want it for free?
Well, I've been ingrained in the culture with these people. They love that Shaq guy comes in.
Okay.
So I've consistently gone in, and I've continued to ask one time after another. But there's this one guy that I hate who works there. His name is Derek. And Derek has always told me, you're never getting that Shaq. You're never getting that Shaq, buddy. And he said, the reason is because when it goes out, I know it's going to go out. And I'm going to throw it away. And I was like, God damn it, Derek. I hate you. I want to circumcise you with my teeth. Eat your foreskin in front of you like I'm a Jewish guy
down in a tunnel.
Exactly. There you go. You filled it. You said exactly what came from my heart.
Yeah, I got something else whenever you get time.
Yeah. I was telling him consistently, fuck you, Derek. This is my Shaq. Shaq has got my back. Anyhow.
That's why you were late, because you had to go to Staples? Or you were almost late because you had to go to Staples today? Is that the story?
Well, yeah, I did, but it's all come to a head. Because today was the day that they replaced the Shaq cutout with another Shaq cutout.
What?
And they got a new Shaq cutout and they replaced the old one. So I was like, where's the old Shaq cutout? And they said, oh, Nick, you know we love you. We kept it in the back. We haven't thrown it away yet. We knew you would come today. You've been here every single day. So I came in.
Heartwarming tale.
But here's the funny thing. That manager was stepping out right as I was stepping in, and guess who was there? It was Derek. Fucking Derek, who said, oh, it's Nick. Here for his prized Shaq. Guess what, buddy? It's in the back. And unfortunately for you, you're not an employee. So no, you're not allowed in the back, buddy. That means you're not getting your Shaq. So I was like, hold on, motherfucker. I'm going to get the customer service line. Nope, don't do that. Because I have a way that you can get Shaq, Nick, old buddy. You see, I, D-Boy Derek, and you, Nickolas, can sort out a little deal. I hate you. You hate me. I hate this job.
Like where this is going.
Well, don't worry. I didn't give him a blowjob, but it's preferable to what actually happened. What this guy asked me to do was he said, I hate this job. I want more money. So, buddy, I'm going to level with you. You're only getting Shaq if you give me $100. $100. This motherfucker wanted me to pay $100 for the Shaq cutout. Right then and there, I almost beat the crap out of him with both of my fists. Killed him in cold daylight, in blood, and night. It wasn't daylight, it was night because this was like an hour and a half ago. Whatever. The point is that I get my ramen and I press the little button to, get cash back, and I get cash back, and then I buy a second thing of ramen so that I can get even more cash back because it would only limit you to get $40 of cash back, and then I bought more ramen. I forgot to do the cash back. So I went back and I bought a pen.
Okay.
And then the second time I also forgot to get the cash back. But then I bought ramen again and then I got the cash back. So I had $100 now. I give him the $100 and he says, you know what the funniest part about this is? Nick, old buddy, you've made a grave mistake. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What? I gave you $100. I'm going to get the Shaq, right? And he's like, yeah, you're going to get the Shaq. But good luck getting it back in your tiny fucking car. He hands me this thing, this giant fucking Shaq cutout, and I feel great. And I'm hauling it towards my car, and I realize, oh God, he's right. Because this thing is 8 feet tall, and it also hovers off the ground a little bit because it's got a stand. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, how am I going to fit this thing in my car? So I start shuffling the seats. I put it all down. It's a tiny little fucking Prius. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, how am I going to get this thing in? I put down my seat, and I put down like the driver's seat as well. I move it as far forward as I can until literally I can't fucking sit in it. It's like my legs can do this, and I can't reach the fucking pedals because the steering wheel is in the way. And it barely even fits. It barely even fits. My trunk is hanging open. My trunk is hanging open so that I can keep Shaq. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? So what I do is I put down both my seat and the seat, like the passenger seat, and I got my feet down in the passenger seat section, and I'm pushing the pedal of the car with my hand, steering with the other hand, looking over the wheel, and just praying to God that when I merge that there's nobody over there.
It's like Chucky and his wife driving a car.
Yeah, and this is how I'm driving home, and Shaq's head is stabbing me in the neck. And I'm literally like, oh my God, am I going to make it? Is a cop going to pull me over and ask me about Shaq? Am I going to have to give him my Shaq to get out of a ticket? And so I'm driving home, and it's extremely dangerous, and I nearly dent my car twice. I hit a speed bump, and I get like a concussion. Okay, not really, but I did hit my head because I hit a speed bump. And then I pull in, and I barely make it home. And... and here it is, the full-size Shaq.
Wow, he really is 8 feet tall.
I've never been more of a proud man. I'm $100 down, and
worth every penny.
Oh, worth every penny, 100%. I was there every single fucking day because I needed this Shaq.
Yeah. Whoa, Jack.
Wow. Does anybody else have a life-size Shaq in their home?
Can't say I do. I don't think anybody else does, really. Like, anywhere.
I have a horse corpse in my garage.
What?
Oh, who doesn't?
I need a dead centaur for a medieval fantasy film, so I got a real horse carcass, and then I'm gonna merge it with a fake model human skeleton. and I'll just have a centaur corpse in the film.
So this year's contest, the genre will be centaur movie, and I think you might have the advantage.
Okay, there we go. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to use CG to make a centaur.
That's not necessarily a bad idea. We should do centaur movie. I just want to see what the fuck people would do.
Oh my god, that's gonna be so fucking hard.
What a nightmare.
Turn Emplemon into a centaur.
Yeah, green centaur.
I'm ready for the next thing, though. I mean, the contest. I mean,
yeah, because
you might have to wait till summer.
Because it's been 4 months.
I mean, the last one just ended last week, right?
Yeah.
remember whenever you did
4 months ago.
one? You did like 2 a year earlier.
Yeah, you did. It used to be biannual. In fact, I remember 2020. I was hoping that you were going to do one. I was so excited because it's the only way I get anything done is if I have a deadline, and that's why I love the film festival. I remember being so fed up with the fact that there wasn't a festival that I entered into another film festival. There was this Domino's Pizza Film Festival where it's like, film you and your family doing something, and instead I sent them like a video of me like getting a torrent of rain of pizza boxes killing me, and then afterwards when they rejected it because they didn't like that I made references to COVID-19, I sent them 400 hours of live leak videos instead.
Good. Well, I think with that, we really have to end this podcast. So,
can I recommend a movie to y'all?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes.
Watch Combat Shock by it was made in 1986. I've been trying to get Red Letter Media to watch it forever, but they're probably not gonna. So
is that like a best of the worst kind of movie?
It's kind of here. I'll show you.
Nick, you gotta recommend a movie as well.
So
I also recommend The Whale 2. That was an artistic masterpiece, sir.
I agree. I wish we would have got that fat guy on here.
Watch porn.
But tell me more about this 1986 movie.
Basically, it's I just want you to watch it so bad and talk about it sometime. But basically, it's a non-veteran that has an Agent Orange mutant baby. But it's gritty and meant to be very serious. But holy crap, it is something else.
Okay.
So,
well, boys,
be a best of word. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to end it.
He's just wrapping it up. He's like fed up with us.
I'm not fed up.
So over it.
It's just a long podcast, and I have to put in all these clips of your movies, so it's even longer. But
a long podcast. It's only been like an hour and 20 minutes. You've done episodes that are an hour and a half long. You just hate us.
I try to keep them under an hour these days.
Us.
Everybody's attention span has been shot to shit, but it is what it is. Boys,
we're
thank
not
you
as
so much.
interesting as Florian Himsel and Reactor, unfortunately.
Yeah, I want to be on a podcast with Florian because I feel like we would get along.
I'm sure that can be arranged. Florian has nothing else going on.
Hell yeah.
Anytime I tell him to record, he's there, so we can do it.
All right. Well, I guess if that wraps it up, I love you all. Go to target.based.lgbt/Antifa to find out how you can support Black women and charities and homosexuals near you. That's all I got because I didn't get to promote myself before, except through that really long story, which was fake and gay, which I just said to waste all your time.
That's fine by me.
I can't believe Target supports fascism.
Yeah, hell yeah. What? I don't even know.
I can't believe they support fascism.
Dude, fascism is awesome. What are you talking about? That's why I'm wearing this anti-fascist shirt, because I love fascism.
So are we going to call this Nickolas Cruiser Talks Over Yoda and Ronald McDonald?
I don't know what to call this one. I'll have to figure that one out.
Call it Gay People Deserve to Live.
The next 5 words you say will be the title of the podcast.
Homosexuality is now legal. Yay.
Okay, we did it.
Okay, one other thing. I was cringing this entire podcast, and I think that's why I'm married.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's to be expected. It's fine.
I was being a much more intentionally cringe because I was trying to do the character.
What some people call cringe, I call entertainment, and I'll never be upset about being entertained. Thank you, boys.
Some of the films were cringe-o. I thought they were kino, so.
Yeah, that's right. One man's cringe is another man's kino.
Can I show my ass on camera?
Good night, everybody.